Imagine walking through a pitch-black forest or swimming out in the open ocean. Your immediate instinct? Well, you're probably going to fear a giant, razor-toothed shark or a ferociously roaring lion, right? But what if I told you that the absolute most lethal creature on this planet is something you could literally slap to death with one hand? Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to flip everything you thought you knew about danger completely upside down. Let's dive right in by shattering a few Hollywood myths. We've all been heavily conditioned by blockbusters to equate massive size and terrifying teeth with maximum danger. Take the ultimate movie monster, the great white shark, and put it right up against a tiny, everyday insect, the mosquito. As you're about to see, in the real world, dangerous doesn't always mean massive size or razor-sharp fangs. So the crucial point here is how we actually define the word dangerous in the animal kingdom. Lethality is way more likely to hide behind tiny frames, invisible toxins, or fatal diseases rather than brute physical force. For this explainer, we're ranking lethality strictly by the annual human death toll. We'll work our way from the least deadly right up to the undisputed champion, and honestly, it's a progression that will fundamentally change how you view danger.
Section 1. The Misunderstood Giants. Okay, let's take a look at these massive, iconic predators at the bottom of our top 10 list. They cause surprisingly few human fatalities compared to what's coming up later. We have the great white shark causing roughly 6 to 10 fatalities a year, the African lion at around 200, the elephant and hippopotamus each at about 500, and the saltwater crocodile sitting at 1,000.
Now, what's really interesting about sharks is the biology behind those 6 to 10 fatal attacks. Sharks possess these super-sensitive electroreceptors called the ampulla of Lorenzini. It allows them to detect the actual heartbeats of living prey. But here's the thing, attacks on humans are mostly just misidentification. From below, a surfer looks a whole lot like a seal. The shark moves in for a test bite, realizes you don't have that high-fat blubber they want, and just lets go. The tragic part, though, is that with a devastating 1.8-ton bite force, a simple test bite is often fatal.
Moving up to lions at roughly 200 deaths per year, we find that most of these happen in rural areas, often involving aging lions that just can't catch faster prey anymore. But they are incredibly formidable because they use highly organized, almost military-like tactics. The pride actually divides into encirclers and executioners, utilizing a 650 psi bite force to quickly crush a neck. And remember, if you're ever in this terrifying situation, running away is literally your worst mistake. It instantly triggers their chase instinct.
Next up, elephants. Despite their gentle, highly intelligent image, they kill about 500 people a year. Often, this is a really tragic result of habitat loss forcing herds into human settlements. But the danger truly spikes when the males enter a condition known as musth. Basically, their testosterone surges up to 60 times higher than normal. This highly territorial, hormone-fueled state turns a 6-ton animal into something incredibly aggressive. Matching the elephant at 500 deaths, we have the fiercely territorial hippo. Now, they might look a little clumsy in cartoons, but make no mistake, this is actually Africa's deadliest land mammal to humans. They can sprint on land at 30 kilometers per hour, and they pack a 1,260 psi bite force, with lower canines that can grow to 50 centimeters. That is more than enough power to capsize a boat or literally snap a crocodile completely in half. Rounding out the giants at 1,000 deaths is the absolute master of the ambush, the saltwater crocodile. This is a prehistoric reptile wielding the animal kingdom's highest bite force at an unbelievable 3,700 psi. They can wait totally motionless underwater for hours, and once they clamp down, they execute this inescapable maneuver called the death roll. They just spin violently underwater to completely disorient and tear apart their prey. Section 2. Chemical Warfare and Toxins. $39 million. Seriously, let that number sink in. That is the staggering price for just a single gallon of neurotoxin from the deathstalker scorpion. Scorpions kill over 3,300 people annually, but the deathstalker is particularly fascinating. Its venom contains chlorotoxin, which medical researchers are actually using right now to target brain cancer cells. So while it's definitely one of the deadliest threats in the desert, it also produces the most expensive, life-saving liquid on Earth. Talk about a plot twist. Then we have venomous snakes, which claim a massive toll, up to 138,000 lives annually. And this vividly contrasts two of the absolute most dangerous. You've got the saw-scaled viper, which relies on perfect camouflage and actually rubs its scales together to hiss. Its hemotoxic venom destroys red blood cells, causing horrific internal bleeding. On the flip side, the black mamba uses blinding speed, slithering at up to 20 kilometers per hour, and delivers rapid neurotoxins that can completely shut a human body down in just 20 minutes.
Section 3. The deadly disease vectors.
Together, the kissing bug and the tsetse fly kill up to 12,000 people annually. But what's truly terrifying is how they actually transmit disease. The kissing bug bites victims while they're sleeping, but get this, it's the parasite in their feces which gets rubbed into the wound that causes lethal Chagas disease. Meanwhile, the tsetse fly, which is highly attracted to dark colors by the way, transmits sleeping sickness directly through its saliva, sending parasites to ruthlessly attack the central nervous system. Now, you might be incredibly shocked to see man's best friend sitting at rank 3, but this number, 59,000, represents the global human death toll every single year caused by dogs infected with the rabies virus. This primarily impacts rural parts of Asia and Africa.
Rabies is, well, it's uniquely terrifying because it attacks the brain. This leads to a condition called hydrophobia, which is an extreme, uncontrollable fear of water that causes violent throat spasms. Once clinical symptoms like this bizarre fear actually appear, the virus is nearly 100% fatal. This really underscores exactly why widespread pet vaccinations are absolutely critical to human safety.
Section 4. The Undisputed Champion.
We are finally past the giant jaws, the neurotoxins, and the venom. It's not a razor-toothed shark, and it's for sure not a roaring savanna king. It is a tiny insect we casually slap away without a second thought, the mosquito. It is absolutely the smallest creature causing the largest mass mortality globally.
Acting as vectors for diseases like malaria, dengue, yellow fever, and Zika, mosquitoes are responsible for up to 1 million human deaths a year. If you look at the data here, you can see they completely and utterly eclipse everything else we've discussed today combined. It's not even close.
What's so fascinating is the exact biological mechanism here. Actually, only female mosquitoes drink our blood because they need the protein for egg development. When they land, their saliva injects anticoagulants to keep the blood flowing smoothly. And it's that precise, tiny exchange that transfers these deadly viruses. This simple reproductive need has cemented their status as perhaps the deadliest force in human history. In fact, some scientists implicate them in half of all historical human deaths. Literally half.
Section 5. Coexisting with nature.
So the absolute core takeaway from our explainer today is incredibly simple. Physical size simply does not dictate lethal danger. As we've learned, humanity's greatest threats often come from the microscopic, overlooked vectors hiding right in our own backyards, rather than those roaring jungle kings we started with. It is so vital to remember that these creatures act on pure survival instincts and natural cycles. There's no evil intent here. The shark is just looking for a seal, and the mosquito is just trying to lay her eggs. What this means is that maintaining clean environments, managing vector populations, and respecting ecological boundaries is quite literally our absolute best defense. I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder as you look at the natural world around you today. Considering this massive gap between Hollywood myths and statistical reality, which of these silent killers or misunderstood giants shocked you the most?